Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TFTV for yet another week of ETF2L Season 36. It's our final week, actually, before the playoffs, so it's going to be a spicy one. I'm Surny, joined by Beater on production and TurboTabs on the mic. How's it going, bud?
Yeah, it's going good. It's going great. Just literally raced through the door, ready for some TF2. So
Hell yeah. That's some good stuff. I like hearing that. I like hearing the enthusiasm, because this is going to be a very interesting, a very important game. As you can see with the tables currently up on the screen. This is Ascent versus Church of Jezunis, aka or Elektro, and only one of these teams is currently in the playoffs. But Ascent does have a good shot at making playoffs if they do manage to take a lot of points home tonight.
yeah, it's kind of surprising. I'm sure if anybody was drawing up a list at the start of the season, people would probably be penciling Ascent to be really up there, like maybe even first seed, because everyone was just a bit of a question mark. But now that things have solidified, we've gone to week 7, and not only are we treated to one of the few games that matter in a week 7 matchup, but it's also kind of like a redemption story.
Yeah, because people were probably expecting Ascent to do a lot better, towards the season in general. It's actually interesting that it shows the win rate there. Yeah, they've only won 41% of the maps, so it's pretty low, probably what compared to what people would expect. But then again, they are tied up with two other teams, so
Yeah, they are a star-studded lineup with some big names that have kind of entered the fold a little bit later on as some people have hopped out, like Vanny being that particular one. He's Ascent.EU's medic, but all these names are just massive players, and maybe some slightly newer to the curve as well. But Domo, Warp, Tomas, they've been around the block. Hugo, Keeper, they've got some good pedigree as well in rising up. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I guess maybe it's just maybe it might be the pressure as well of just everybody expects you to do well, and then throughout the
yeah,
season you kind of punish yourself just a bit more for those little fumbles and trip ups.
it's definitely a mindset thing. Yeah, it could very well be. But as you said, this is sort of a new roster, so that could also play into it. But let's also talk about their opponents. The roster that's been performing very well this season. Very, very well. Aura Electro, Church of Jezunis, doing really, really well. Just winning when you wouldn't expect them to, and playing extremely solidly, having stuck together for so long with this roster. The monolithic Eames that everybody rallies around in that team. It is quite a star-studded roster as well, without a doubt.
Yeah, they've had a long history with the Eames, Nevo, and Azuna's Emerald sort of like core, I guess you could say. Maybe a hot swap in the mat every now and then. But, they may be the sugar and spice, but I feel like Sorex, this guy is their fucking chemical X. He's the guy that he puts in, and that's what makes him fucking powerful. Is just, this guy is insane. And on a team like this, where he just gets to kind of do whatever he wants and play his own sort of game, it really kind of emphasizes his power.
Absolutely. Let's actually look at some of those stats then, shall we? Let's look at these players in direct comparisons. When we've got their numbers, as we do with the demos here, we can actually see who's the better one. Well, at least, in a direct comparison, that is. Obviously, there's a lot of factors that would play into it in real time, but, you know.
Hmm. I know that a lot of people will be looking at these stats tonight and in isolation, just kind of like, well, obviously Domo is the better demo man. Just he's
Exactly,
got all
yeah.
these better stats and all across the board. And obviously, one of them is being deaf, so you don't really want to be capitalizing the most on that. And Domo is doing that. But Domo usually comes down to the guy who makes these sort of huge, sort of redeeming plays for his teams, kind of putting the team on his back and dragging them to victory where he has to in these sort of Ascent.EU games, while Eames seems more of like the pacemaker, the caller, and the general sort of flow for the team. He's much more relaxed, I would say, in his sort of game style. Doesn't demand he be kind of making these huge plays like Domo does.
Definitely, yeah. It's just a nature of the different types of teams that we're dealing with here. Let's also have a quick look at the medics in such a case. As we've said, Vanny, jumping in a little bit later. Connor, arguably the more, experience with his team and whatnot. But overall, these stats are a back and forth or actually pretty even. There's
But
nothing to glean in, someone is just strictly better.
I've known Vanny for a long time, and I can tell you a few, hilarious just Vanny stories and things like that. But he really is, like his personality, a riddle wrapped in an enigma. He is just, I don't know what goes on in his brain sometimes. Sometimes he'll do some of the best medic plays I've probably seen in this game, like something just astounding, some amazing serves, some, death-defying death-defying. And then he will just go for the most silly, ridiculous, juvenile mistakes as well I've ever seen, and he's just truly a wild card. And in my long monologue, I think we might be going live.
Could potentially be. I don't know. It does certainly seem to be a thing. It looks like these players are playing the game. So, yeah, we've had a 1 mid by Ascent, which, by the way, it looks like they're playing with Classy tonight. So, there's an interesting little tidbit for there. And I believe Vanny just dropped as we were talking about that. So, interesting.
Wow, I can't believe these are the first 2 Prem players to actually start on time as well. That's a stat that we couldn't predict with our little stat screen as well. I was so busy alt-tabbed out, I didn't really have it alt-tabbed into the game.
Looking at those wonderful numbers, but yeah, we've only missed a single mid fight, and nothing much came of it seems. Ascent have 1 mid, but they lost the push into second, and now we're here. Aura are trying to retake the second point with just a few Ascent players struggling, and finally the rest of the team meeting up as well as they lose Thomas. Looking to maybe protect this point a little bit longer and delay these Aura players. But with the Ubers being even and all that, there's not much of an advantage that either team can really work off of. So it looks to be Aura just falling back again, recollecting themselves, and potentially mounting another push soon enough.
Yeah, so I guess we don't really have too much to say until both of these teams get Uber. Nobody's going to dare venture forward first, and even the roaming soldiers in the pickoff classes, they're actually just Ubering straight in.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, they supposed to got that a little bit earlier, but it's also a little bit worse. They trade Eames for Thomas effectively and have to back out immediately, considering that Vanny's Uber is just that much better. With now these Ascent players flooding in, Kugo's going to trade with Amarok there. And yeah, actually not much happening, just players staring at each other in big door ever so slightly, just prodding and peeking, seeing what they can do. A lot of spamming exchange Classy going forward into lobby a little bit, maybe probably overextending. And be responded with Sorix trying to forward himself. He's going to actually just settle for that kill. So that's yet another little push there by Ascent that wasn't going to work. But they are a lot further now on their Ubers, so this could be an interesting situation.
Yeah, that was the Uber was quite dire from Eames and company, so they're just going to have to backpedal it back for a little moment. It was a bit strange. I thought Ascent would kind of capitalize a bit off that more, but they're throwing in Amarok now, and there's no greater escape than just literally leaving the mid, Surny.
I mean, if you're not there, you can't be killed, right? Pretty straightforward.
It looks like they're mounting the attack now.
That's the warp just going in, trying to maybe go for a little bit of a counter sack here. However, he's not going to accomplish much, not going to get a force or anything. It's actually going to be just Connor and Sorix running through choke, trying to get that Uber out of them. And that's going to be what happens here. Not much else comes of it, though. Nobody else is in the exchange. Nobody else is doing anything. And it might boil down to a post-Uber fight if the players of Aura seem to be willing, as they're still just perfectly content, chilling in their choke, not moving any more ground than they possibly have to.
Yeah, it is up to really the team controlling mid to make the play. They've got the forward respawn advantage. All this, the gentleman's agreement. There you go. They're making the big play on a big door right now.
And they are gaining a little bit of ground here. Classy again, just going forward into lobby there, not finding anything though, and backing out again. They didn't get as much ground as they wanted, and now immediately Ascent just back together, clobbled up again. Classy trying to go into lobby here, cannot find a kill of his own though. So that's going to be him down, and that's going to be his team backing out yet again. It's really just Ascent trying to break this hold as best as they can. Obviously, both Ubers up on an Uber again. Both teams up on an Uber. We might see another exchange happening if Connor wants to take this in with Sorix again, as he has done oh so many times by now.
Yeah, they should be wising up to it at this point. You can even see the position in Vanny. He's ready to try and put like well, he was going to put something between him and Sorex, and that's the disadvantage to kind of taking these scout uber in. You can kite them with objects a lot more compared to like the soldiers and the demo men. So,
Ooh.
Sniper ringing out. I didn't even know he was up.
I'd actually just now noticed, like a few seconds before he got that shot off. We do indeed have Classy on the side, but he's gonna get a nice shot onto Nevo, so the counter snipe does come through. He's gonna get killed in the Uber exchange though, so it's just a 5v5 battle with Ascent in a significantly worse position, but they do have Hugo in behind, who is desperately running for his life and has perished, so there's that.
2 players down, it's time for a push. The numbers on their side, and Amarok is making room, baby. Let's go. Choo-choo, all aboard the train as they're trying to just bomb in there without, like, the core of poor little Eames and company going in. What happened there?
That was a very, very odd situation. It just sent in 3 players, probably desperately trying to get some sort of bigger advantage than they had. And Vanny just hanging on, you know, evading any form of danger there for the longest time. He's gonna hang on, he's gonna have his Uber ready soon enough, even though Connor does get his first, so Ascent are gonna have to wait a little bit longer if they do want to push this last point, potentially. But they are getting close, and we can potentially see a push-in very, very soon. Sentry finally going up on the side of Aura. They are looking to hold this a little bit longer. Classy slips through into water as well. Let's see how Ascent approach this last push here. Actually, Jezunis is up on the spy as well. He's slipped through behind already.
And he's probably going to get the backstab onto Vanny. There we go. There's the drop. And there's another bonus kill onto Warped as well. You don't see that too often in the land of competitive TF2. Usually when someone gets backstabbed, Surny, they scream out that they shout, spy, spy, anything, communicate.
I think it's the fastest that people ever flick their mouse around to turn around and, you know, try to find them. It is definitely. While that happened, though, you know, we almost did see a back cap come through. It was just barely stunted. Obviously, when everybody's on last,
they're still going for it. The soldier's trying to go for last, but there's a sentry gun on last.
Yeah, that's a problem, and Tomas is obviously caught in now with the second capped out as well. That's not going to happen anymore. We have now got Aura trying to push into mid here, and they have a full Uber to boast as well, so this should be a pretty easy one for them to do. Let's see if Ascent can try to slow them down, stunt them, and make sure that they don't get into this for free, as they already have players swarming the point. No, okay, Ascent is just going to decide that that's not going to happen. Let's just hold second instead, boys.
Yeah, the wise play. You don't really want to go in and take the fight just by the fact that you're an Uber charge down. It would be ridiculous, really. So they're going to just kind of waste their time, maybe spam a few rockets here and there, throw a soldier in to try and force them out. And now that they've got their own Uber charge, they will take the exchange right now.
Yeah, they are just going to stare at each other in choke as one does. Eames is going to go high and get shot out of the sky by Tomas, who's still in the forward spawn as a sniper. Throughout that entire exchange, he was just waiting for a shot, and he does get it. Shutting down the demo there, Amarok also being down. That is a big opportunity for Ascent to retake mid here and potentially even roll it forward. The longer that demo's dead, maybe even... Okay, no, he will get the forward spawn, but if he didn't, then that would have been even better for him. Turns out they're gonna have to fight for this point, ever so slightly. And now having lost Domo, that's going to be even harder. Warped as well. Connor getting another kill on his count there. Classy going down as well. That is a sealed deal, and Ascent again having to back out. Tomas trying to maybe snipe somebody out here. Not going to happen, he gets caught out as well. So, yet again, Ascent having to back out to their second.
Yeah, it was a good push out from Eames, going from lower. The sniper didn't see it coming, so he had the jump on him from there. But really, that was just kind of a greedy play coming out from Domo. He really wanted to kind of overextend and get a bit more kills, or kind of get the second for free by just surprise factor, pushing past the point. But his scouts obviously couldn't help during all of that because they were too busy capping mid.
Turns out that you kind of need those if you want to stay alive as a demo man. Who would have thought? Being reliant on your teammates, that's just unfortunate. And we do see Aura taking the second as well, and actually rolling it into last very quickly, as Ascent is still not there to mount any form of defense. The Uber exchange is on. Ascent players finally coming in, as Aura players having to run away. Eames gets caught out, cannot escape, so... Unfortunate for Aura, really. They didn't have the players to throw at the point, not the confidence, potentially, with Ascent also just using their own Uber. They just didn't have any chance to take that, and Ascent are actually just going to push out of Yeah, I love immediately take 2 players. Lord.
Oh my god, that's teammates really working together in the wrong aspects of things. So he's sharing the same ground, making it easy for these blue soldiers. Says the Ascent soldiers.
I'm just gonna gobble those all up right there. Easy pickings, easy fruit. Just it's like the apple's already fallen off the tree. You just have to eat it, and that's what they did there. Gonna force out all those Aura players and reclaim their second point. Obviously, Vanny getting up on his Uber first. We're gonna see Jezunis trying to go into Fruit Choke here, but there's absolutely nobody for him. Nothing. There's nothing. He might escape with his life if he's lucky.
Oh my god, he got it. Oh no,
He doesn't.
Wow, that went. It was just greedy. I think he just wanted to go for a play. Thought the entire Ascent squad was rotating around Big Door, and they were for a moment, but he really dedicated in there.
Nevo behind though. He slipped through. Classy's gonna find him, and let's see who wins this 1v1. While everything else goes on in front, Classy wins that one.
Disrespected.
Alright. So Ascent just holding on, taking care of any form of distraction that they could have to deal with here. And again, just having a wall of a defense, really, for the most part currently. Or having trouble cracking it with every opportunity that they try to throw at it. Just nothing seems to work thus far. Again, they do have Nevo up on the sniper now, so maybe that was why he decided to go in so far behind to sack to become the sniper. We do have Warped in as well, putting a lot of damage onto Con. Actually gonna force him.
Yeah.
Oh no!
The Rockets actually did, and they've used a little bit of that tail end of that Uber to actually force out the Ascent.EU Uber, but they actually get the kill onto Connor now, so it's made it all worth it. They need to protect Vanny though at this point here, and Vanny's going to be a good bait to draw all of these red players in. I'm expecting a wipe. Sorix has got to go down. There we go.
That is a big wipe for Ascent to have here, especially now. We're like almost halfway through the map already, and there's still not been any rounds put onto the board. So these teams are fighting to take these rounds home, and especially Ascent have to if they want to have any chances of the playoffs in the coming weeks. So obviously, they do not want to leave anything on the table here whatsoever. We're going to see them try to build as fast as possible, take this Uber in with Connor still nowhere near his own. Nevo's still up on the sniper, maybe looking to get a cheeky shot onto something or someone, trying to be a little aggressive, but I doubt it's going to happen as they Uber before they even walk through the shutter door, not taking any risks whatsoever. Ascent players flooding into last, but there's nobody for them to meet. Everybody on Aura is just standing in the spawn. The sentry is still not dead, but it's not in a very bad spot for them either. Players finally coming out. Classy does go down, but they've already lost Nevo as well. Thomas now down on the side of Ascent. Players are falling left, right, and center. Domo down, but Sorix as well. Warped going down. Ascent is looking dire. Only Vanny left, and he looks to be escaping with his life, even with people chasing him. He will potentially survive. Yeah, he's definitely gonna make it out all right.
Yeah, nice defense by Aura Elektro. It was hard to kind of play the point by the fact that there was a soldier on there, just kind of peppering those sort of sheepish scouts that just tiptoe onto it. And nobody wanted to die to stickies. It would have been a lot better for Ascent.EU if one scout just nominated themselves like, alright, I'm going to die, or I'm going to bull rush this demo man and force his stickies.
Yeah, unfortunately that did not happen, and we have Aura now pushing forward, using that Uber advantage of their own to just take this midpoint for free, slip in through lower, through the drop down, and just take it without much of a contestation at all. Gonna find themselves trying to push second here. Might even be potentially the first to use the Uber, and they will. Oh lordy! What a shot by Amarok. He's gonna trade with Classy with that one. What a trade it is. Unfortunately, not much came off of it, and actually Vanny didn't even have to use his own Uber, so...
Oh, they're going drop down. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
They're
This is
using the mirror strats.
Yeah, they could go big door there. If they bum rush teams, that would have been really good, but they decide against it. They go and they recollect themselves and just be thankful that they had a a 3 point instead of
Basically,
no Uber.
They get to even use the Uber potentially to take second here. If obviously not using would be ideal, but let's see how they approach it as the team makes its way through. Domo gets shut down immediately. Unfortunately, you hate to see it. Amarok is high in the sky. He might actually die. Thomas gets taken out in the meantime by Eames as well. And Warp gets cleaned up. That's not looking good.
And the Uber's been used as well. That's okay. Well, that was a car crash of a push.
Oh, Hugo trying to throw himself at the combo there just to maybe catch out Connor. It didn't happen either. And the aura bus is just rolling forward now.
Maybe I'm just turning into a grumpy old man, Surny, but this is one of the more frustrating rounds of TF2 I've ever watched, because so far both teams are just kind of winning off the back of their other teams' chronic throwing. And it's just really weird. One team would just kind of have an advantage or not even make a great play. Someone just fluffs something so, like, binary. Anyway, we're going into last now. Sorix is looking for Domo, but Domo ain't there.
He's not anywhere to be found. Classy's the only player to die on Ascent so far. Warp finally getting cleaned up as well, but 3 players down already for the side of Aura as well. So are Ascent, though. It's looking a little scary if you're either team here, honestly. The Pyro on the point is going to keep people off, though. Sorix is coming to try and cap the point. He shoots him down. The Uber comes out of Vani, so they're going to hang on to the point for longer with Classy up as well from the respawns.
Oh, there's 2 scouts. There's no one be blocked on the point. Oh no, Classy's got him. Oh man, that was a little sweat-inducing there. There was a moment where I think he could have capped it on the point, but yeah, they just didn't know where everybody was for a second. People were looking for Domo, then Domo was looking for the scouts. A very stressing last point.
Turns out that Ascent do hang on by, well, almost a thread, really. That could have gone either way. The fact that they do that. Oh! In the meantime, Nevo just shuts down Domo, who's again a little aggressive on mid, and he's back into the respawn queue, so that's no demo for Ascent. Obviously, that might be something that Aura looked to go off. Amrock, fruit choke immediately. That does not connect the rockets, so Vani will stay alive and not feel any danger at all. And with Domo back up again, we're seeing Ascent with actually maybe even potentially pushing here. The flank is already through with Big Door. They have Domo accompanying them. The rest of the players now flooding through choke as well. Nobody's died yet though. The Uber does come out of Connor. Very good force. Very, very good force. Finally, Vani responds with the Uber of his own. Obviously, he is far better. And that is a collapse by Aura immediately after that. He's actually staying alive, killing Tomas here. Okay. Classy finds him.
Classy just kind of raining on his parade there. It looked like for a moment he could have maybe done something. Hugo is delaying them at the forward respawn, so that's well played from him. It allows them to get a bit nervous and maybe not even take this forward respawn. Yeah, they actually all rotate back, so that's some wasted time there, so good job by him. So that was very good. I'm very impressed with Ascent there.
Ooh!
Okay, well...
So much for that!
Well...
We have Nevo just sitting in the forward spawn, hitting the shot of his life. Both of these sniper players, both, Nevo and Classy, they've both been doing pretty well as sniper thus far. This game so far. They've been hitting the shots when they needed to, and it's been working out for them, especially for Nevo. Again, that's a crucial kill there onto Vani, completely eliminating any form of disadvantage they could have ever had.
They can't hold this. They can't. They need to get out immediately.
Yeah. Classy's still in, but they found him, so he's not going to accomplish much either. Gonna get shut down, and that's Aura again, just holding on. And again, we're 20 minutes into this map, right? And still not a single round has been won by either team.
It's got to be very frustrating for both of these teams because they know they've done bad, but they also know that both of them have done bits of good, so they feel like that this round should be theirs on both sides, and it's going to be quite tilting one way or the other who gets this round.
We do have Classy now trying to snipe again. It's just an endless back and forth of who gets to play sniper on which team. Classy opts to not do it instead. Go back to the scout, and we have Aura sending in some players who choke. The Uber comes as well. Connor gets launched across the point, sent into the corner. Vani responds with his own Uber. Connor not even able to connect with anybody. There was nobody there. He got launched so far away from his team. He couldn't even flash anybody with his Uber. Nevo, the only player still alive out of that, really. I mean, Eames escapes, but yeah.
Man, I bet he was launched so quickly, I thought the screen popped up with a loading screen saying, "You're on your way to CP process." My God.
Headed to our next map already. He's an early one. He's a quick one.
Yeah, it was, so, I mean, the story kind of tells itself there. Connor launched really far away, Connor was Ubered, nobody else Ubered, blue people were Ubered, no Uber. Sad days.
That's very straightforward. We do have Aura players very aggressive though. They do retake mid actually, and Jezunis going in deep as well, doing a lot of damage but not managing to kill anybody just yet. With Classy respawning as well, it looks to be Ascent just holding on to second for a little while longer and coming up on their Uber first as well. Who knows if they actually want to make use of that. They appear to just want to flood into this mid immediately, take this fight as quickly as possible, maybe even catch out Connor. It's not going to happen. He is going to get his own Uber as well. No player has died just yet. He's going to actually pop it onto Sorix immediately. Obviously, Vanny responds with an Uber of his own, and it's just going to be players staring at each other for a while.
It's a very interesting set of affairs. Sorix manages to weasel his way in behind, and nobody knows that he's there, so he's probably going to set up a play during all of this. But I like how Ascent are approaching these mid-fights. Oh, they actually throw both soldiers in now.
Yep. Right, yeah, and they had Amarok slip through as well with a drop down. Both of them getting onto Vanny there with Sorix, cleaning up some straggling players as well. It's looking pretty bad for Ascent. Domo could potentially try to stay alive here. He's going to get cleaned up by Amarok as well. It's only Thomas and Hugo left. Hugo being on very low health as well, though. Is he going to get onto the med here? I don't think they know he's there. Oh, nope, he doesn't hit the rockets, does he? Thomas can potentially clean up. He's not gonna either. So Ascent have to just eventually pull the plug and realize it's too late. Maybe even just go to Lost. It's looking pretty grim.
Yeah, it was very nice of Aura Elektro to play off the fact that Sorix was behind. Not only did they bring in more players, which sort of increased the likelihood of that play working, but their timing was spot on as well. They all went at the same time. Ooh. Oh, well, there goes Memes.
Nice shot by Thomas. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I don't think they were looking forward to that one. Eames just not flashed for long enough in the Uber. Gets shot out of the sky. That's that Uber stunted immediately. But they do have a Jezunis in water, and nobody seems to be aware of it. Could this be the back cap? I think this is just going to be it. Jezunis is just going to back cap here. There's nobody there. Nobody's around. They made the age-old mistake of not checking every path. And Jezunis is going to win his team the first round of Gully Wash tonight.
I mean, you can design a more frustrating round of TF2. The amount of flunks and misses and just players getting picked off in random places and happening, and then to end it off of a back cap. I'm pretty sure a lot of these players are wondering if they're in hell right now.
Absolutely.
Why?
Eames getting shut down so early, going for the aggressive play, shut down by Domo immediately. And with both soldiers dead for Aura as well, this is looking like a 1 mid already for Ascent. I wonder, we didn't see it, but I wonder if this is how the first one went.
If they convert off this round, I'm going to be a bit upset with Eames. I don't know why he wanted to go for that big.
He wants to keep it interesting.
It's just so risky, you know. It's a very important class, the Demo Man. He does a lot on these mid fights. Usually teams will prioritize him. If you lose your Demo Man immediately, they'll kind of like end the mid. And I know that was high risk, high reward. He gets the Demo Man or he'll die. But you're in the lead. You can play things maybe a bit slower, a bit cushiony.
Doesn't look like that's what they're going to be doing. And that's the punishment for that is finding themselves on their last point, trying to defend it from an onslaught of just spam and Ascent players desperately looking to convert around because, by lord, they do not want to leave any points on the table if they don't have to. So, really, it is the ball's in their court. They have to make something happen here. They take down the Sentry very early. Very nicely done there by Domo, just peeking the shutter, taking care of that. So that's going to allow his soldiers to go in a little bit. Classy's going to slip into water as well, with nobody actually looking at the point right now. And no stickies on it either. He could get a little bit of cap time. Jezunis is there to respond to him, though. So that's not going to happen. Sentry gets taken down again. The Ascent are really just looking for a big opening here to push off of.
Usually in these sorts of scenarios, point plays feel quite strong, and because they're dedicating a lot of resources to obviously the engineer, keeping the engineer and every company safe on this right-hand side, and so that means there's less sort of obviously avenues and people watching that point, and Gully Wash is one of those points where obviously you have a back door to the point. Why would you not go for these point plays?
Exactly. We also do have a Jezunis on the spy again.
Oh no, it's going to happen again, is it?
Oh,
wait, he
he's
sees him. I mean, if he got the backstab there, that would be one of the greatest backstabs in all of TF2 history, but I mean, I don't know what he was hoping there. Maybe he had the regular invisibility watch.
Yeah, who knows. We also have a Thomas sniper, so that is yet another interesting play. And we have a conch out.
We did have the Thomas sniper.
Yeah, we did. Well, fair enough. We also had a conch out of the side of, I believe it was Aura. So, yeah, Amarok has the conch, so they didn't accomplish much of that, it seems, though, and Classy's going to go down as well, so he's not going to get any form of cheeky little point time or anything like that here. Again, just a reset for a set. I think Aura are aware of the time by now, and being a round up, obviously they don't want to, lose that lead, but they also know that they can play it a little slower potentially now, park the bus for a while, and, make use of the fact that the pressure is on Ascent, and that they can just, if they want to, just play the map like this, take it to a 1-0 and just win the game like that. As soon as it's in on Spy again, he gets spotted out immediately though, so he's not going to accomplish anything.
This is a scary park, though. This is the kind where you're on the double yellows. You're not sure if you're getting a park-it ticket or if you're just crossing your fingers, because one little fatal mistake, and boy, have we seen some mistakes out of these teams so far, and it could be like equalized out before you get a say in.
And we'll see how that goes. The stickies are popped on the point. Classy's going to try to go for it again. He pulls Amarok in. Maybe he's going to even kill him. No, there's a Jezunis to help his friend Soldier out as well, with Thomas down as well, trying to go for the sentry, or God knows what happened there. I have Hugo stuck in water.
Is he stuck in water? Or is he taking advantage of water?
Who knows? Nobody seems to be really looking for him, but obviously we still have people looking at the point. There's a sentry overlooking it as well, so it looks like Hugo is going to take his sweet time here. Probably wait on his team to do a little bit of another play here. Give him some room, get some players distracted, get some players looking the other way, so he can get some cap time, potentially even get help by one of his teammates trying to just cap out the point. Nobody seems to be near it. There's no sticks on it either, so he can definitely get something done with that.
Well,
oh, yeah, he's going to step on and get a lot of cap time immediately. Thorax is going to try to reflect the rockets. That's not going to happen. He's going to clean up Amarok, actually, as well. He's just going to cap it out.
Well, there you go. There's that mistake they were waiting for, and that's that point fight. That was what we were talking about earlier, Surny. The fact that they dedicated so much resources to that right-hand side defense, they haven't got too much of a plan in case somebody plays the point.
Yep, and Hugo just walks on it, kills the one player trying to stop him. Then people come in for Shutter, distracting the rest of the team, and he just caps out the points. So, very well done by them. Ascent equalizing the rounds here. With 2 minutes left, you could wonder if this can go into a golden cap. Amarok goes high on this mid as well. Not going to find anything, though. And the teams are duking it out. No early demo def on either side here. Amarok, Corndog, and Eames already dead, though. Nevo, Sorix, and also Jezunis following suit. So that's another wipe for Aura.
Hugo was monumental that mid. He had a nice little flank play that led to a lot of kills there. And other than that, everybody was just kind of doing a bit of trading here and there.
Well, that's unfortunate if you're Aura and you just had such a commanding lead, for theoretically, I don't know, 10 minutes. So we're gonna see
a commanding lead. Whoa, lad, let's calm down there. They had a 1 minute lead, and then Eames kind of like, blew that away on mid. They had a whole minute of lead and then last.
Well, if they are playing it smart here, though, they will just hold this point for another minute and take it to a golden cap. Obviously, Ascent will not want that to happen, so they're going to use this Uber through River as soon as they get it. I am definitely clairvoyant while I called it. Oh, actually, it's crits. I didn't even notice. Well, look at that. They pick up Amarok. They pick up Sorix as well on the sidelines. Lots of crit sticks on the points, so if any blue players want to go on there, they do have a chance. Connor has also used his Uber, so that is out of the window now. And with more players up on the side of Ascent, if they do want to take this post fight, never mind, Classy is dead. But so is Jezunis and Eames. So there's still a chance. Ascent can still do it. They have 17 seconds.
The sentry gun's in the way. He can't come in.
Yeah, true. That is a problem.
And yeah, there's not enough time for them to do anything. So now everyone's turning a bit goofy because they see the time and they're like, I've got to do something. And they all go in uncoordinated. Where I think if they all just took a breath and then just did one play together, I think that would have been their best chance to win. It was a nice sticky try play for the point though, but Classy, it was just hard playing scout close quarters in that water area, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and he just could not get through the wall of players trying to prevent him from going there. And obviously then, there's Ubered players as well. The crits aren't going to do much against those. So we're going to be going into a golden cap on our first map of Goalie Wash here, really. Aura wanting to stunt Ascent on their last hurdle to playoffs as much as possible. And obviously, our team already having picked up a point for this, aka Ascent having left at least 1 point on the table, not going to look good for them.
So, does that mean their chances are kind of fluffed here? Losing 1 point, is that Ascent
They still
done?
have they still have a chance. They need to get at least 4, I believe.
Okay, so they
So
could
they
golden
can
cap every
still
time.
do it. They can still do it, but it is obviously going to be quite tough. It's going to get harder. But we can look at these logs real quick before they decide to head off into the golden cap, because it's rare that players decide to do that immediately. So, which of these numbers sticks out to you, bud?
Well, it's a Roma map, and you can tell it's working in full force. Amarok, Hugo, topping the charts with their
Absolutely.
damage and their contributions to the game. And other than that, I'm not seeing anything too out of place. Nobody to really bully. I guess if I wanted to be really super cruel, I would probably bully Warped. But those stats are lying to you, my friend. Women lie, men lie, and the stats lie. Because Warped did a good job, I thought. Overall, he did a lot of like space creating, a lot of the plays of forcing and getting these like wonderful picks that I needed to get done. So I want Warped is immune. Okay, this logs round.
He's innocent. Everybody can have a slightly worse day in terms of numbers. It doesn't necessarily imply how much of an impact you had on the game, but it looks like we're going into our golden caps. So let's see which team actually decides to take home Gully Wash.
Eames, please don't
And,
do the fast roll up. I beg you.
Let's see if he decides to die instantly again. Oh boy, nope, he's choosing to go into his own choke this time around, and that's that. So he's going to actually lay down some nice early damage as well onto the scouts of Ascent there. And both teams playing it rather slow to begin with. Warp just walking forward, getting up the enemy drop down. So he's going to be in behind Hugo, jumping in as well onto Connor. Immediately gets onto Connor. Nice play by him. Warp cleaning up from behind, just cleaning up house. With Thomas cleaning up a bit of damage as well. It's just Nevo and Amarok left, so neither of these are really going to get much done. Nevo's just actually run out for his life, so that's, again, a great mid by Ascent here.
What a horrifying mid for Elektro. Not in the sense that they played badly, but the fact that the soldiers from Ascent didn't jump for such a long time that they were like, where are they? And they were kind of scared, lost in the woods. And the first big boogeyman jumped out, and he actually got a kill. That was just the distraction boogeyman. But if a distraction gets kills, like, how do you think the rest of the mid's going to go?
I just realized again that they were running crits, by the way. Vanny was running crits again. They used the crits on last and accomplished next to nothing with it. So,
I mean, they like running crits on this team. I think they've been experimenting with it a lot, and they really believe in it. And I can respect a team for wanting to stick with their sort of flavour. Hugo didn't see that blindside coming out from Amarok. Fortunately, he won't get picked off here.
Oh, Vanny's actually getting close to his crits again, but it looks like Connor's probably going to get his Uber up first. Thomas was trying to do a little cheeky spy play, but he's just going to get caught up by spam. And Vanny and Warp trying to go for the point as well is not going to happen, for, for him. So, yeah, that's pretty disastrous. We only have Domo. Looking at the corpse of his medic.
I think he was hoping that somebody would kind of go a bit greedy there and all jump forward, like, break off one by one to try and go ahead from midpoint there. But they were very good boys and girls and all capped, holding hands on second point.
And yeah, we have just Aura taking that team forward. They find out Hugo was trying to hide up high on the building, but that spot is too well known, my man. People can look up there, and they do indeed do that. So again, just Ascent having to give up second as well. And I think, yeah, they are back on Uber, but obviously Aura have way better with theirs, immediately popping it in actually as well, but essentially still not going down, finally taking it down, but not accomplishing much else with it. Warp gets taken out on the sidelines, I suppose, but it's gonna be a iffy one. Classy can't stop Jezunis though. It's gonna have to come down to the soldiers just jumping on the point, the Uber coming out as well, and it's only Sorix left alive, with Thomas taunting him as he dies of afterburn. Alright.
Honestly, things were going pretty good for Aura Elektro. I was maybe a little bit sloppy with that sentry gun, and it kind of forced them out of the positions that they originally wanted. But if it wasn't for how long they were taking to make that push happen or just get things going, and Vanny having his Uber charge just ready in the nick of time there, I think they would have won that round.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for them, so Aura find themselves on mid again. Nevo in the forward spawn. He is a force to be reckoned with this game. He has been hitting some crucial shots, so let's see if he does the same again. Or if it's just going to be Ascent players walking through choke.
I need to see what sort of sightlines he's got going here, because I think he's trying to not just look at only big door. Actually, I think he had a small opportunity to get a big door shot there, but didn't go for it. Wanted to actually rotate back round to his other forward respawn. Oh, gets a nice body shot onto Classy there.
At the very least. Meanwhile, Vanny did pop in his team with an Uber to just try and take that midpoint. Obviously, Connor now having his own, though. He's going to take that into choke here, catch out Domo, potentially chase down. No, they're not going to chase down Vanny. And actually, there's a huge back cap going on, and they're going to just pull back all the players. All right, fair enough.
I mean, is it a back cap when you just kind of ignore the players that pushed into second and went for the back line so hard that you just... I don't know, you kind of back capped yourself.
I suppose, yeah, to an extent, you kind of did. So that's going to be a big play, obviously. They do lose a few players with that, but Ascent are going to delay Aura a little while longer. Equalize the Ubers a little bit more, so they're going to have a better shot at actually taking some more ground here. And as our time runs lower, bear in mind, you know, Golden Caps having that time limit of 15 minutes instead. Our first round was 20 minutes long. So if they want to go for another one of those, we might just see these teams tied up completely. And, well, I mean, then the team that wins is the one that has the midpoint. So
I'm more than certain that they feel like they'll be in hell, or a realm of hell, if they actually end up going to the timer part of Golden Cap, because it's such a frustrating first round, and then a whiff of a second round, and then there's Golden Cap stuff going on as well. Oof.
Would be very unfortunate, and it would definitely stunt your morale a little bit for that second map as well. But again, Ascent obviously don't want to leave anything on the table, so they definitely want to make sure that they take this home. And at least they managed to take mid here, killing 2 players on the side of Aura, so might be able to roll it forward a little bit further into mid as well. It's only Eames far forward right now. The rest of his team kind of backed off. They're going to roll it in immediately. Hugo jumping in deep. Vanny just now using Zuber. Obviously, Connor responding with his own. Hugo gets cleaned up, though, on the backlines in the meantime. So they're a player down. Warped is in as well, pulling some attention back, but overall, the fight is still ongoing. Eames gets traded with Domo effectively. Neva also taken down. Jezunis trying to jump in, not accomplishing much. Emerald going down as well. Oh,
this is the chariot scouts. It's very, very scary. They're going to chariot their way into last point as well. Nobody's there to defend it. They've already got souls on there. It's going to insta-cap before anybody can, yeah. Well, at least it's not going to go to that mid-cap timer.
At least they managed to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and Ascent, after taking a while to get into the game, do take our first map in the Golden Cap. And my God, what a closely matched game thus far.
It was sluggish from both teams.
Definitely.
But Ascent did it, and they have come out bleeding slightly, because a Golden Cap is still some ETF2L points lost, so they're not going to be too pleased about that. But, you know, it's something. It's a victory,
I suppose. And if they take the second map as well, they can give themselves quite a decent little, you know, padding if they actually want to go into that playoffs race. So we'll see how that goes on our second map of Process, and how things are going to be different. I guess this is a map that, you know, plays pretty differently compared to Gully Wash, so we'll have to see.
Now, a big moral question is, do we look at the logs from the Golden Cap?
Do we want to?
Usually you don't really want to. There's not too many stats you can gain, especially if the Golden Cap was quick, which this one wasn't. This one was quite back and forth, and despite conventions, but usually there's not too much stats you can gain from just one round. It usually just makes one player look godlike and other players look like they've done nothing.
Pretty much. I'm pretty sure if you look at Warped's stats now, they're going to be completely different, you know? We're shitting on him for the first logs, and when you look at him now, they're probably going to be a lot better considering that mid-fight.
No shitting here. I made him immune.
Sure. I know what you were thinking. You don't have to say it, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything standing out, to be honest. It's really hard to even look in deep into, say, the difference between medic play and deaths, but you got to keep in mind Connor's couple of deaths there were probably a lot more crucial to a Golden Cap than if he just died throughout a 5-round game. So I think a lot of that just came down to just converting and just kind of fluffing up those sort of moments there. Also, some very nice. There are some like very nice things about both of these teams, and things I noticed. Like I liked the positions that Aura Elektro were holding on seconds. They read the game very well, and the fact that what Ascent.EU would try to do in their Ubers and like try and get people behind, so they'll put scouts in, to specifically kite those and deal with those, and it's nice to see, but just the execution just seems to be falling a bit flat for both of these teams right now. Feels a bit like a dice roll.
It is. It seems almost up to random chance with some pushes whether they're going to go one way or the other.
I'm not going to scorn us too much for that, because no one likes being told that it was a random chance in the competitive video game.
Obviously, but it seemed like it at parts. It was almost a toss-up with some exchanges how they were going to go. It was very hard to predict. At some point, Aura kill 2 people before the Uber even really starts, or before the exchange starts, and then suddenly they lose 5 players. It's hard to glean, hard to make predictions for the future, which is also why I won't be able to tell you who's going to win this map. If it's going to be as close as the first one, we could just see another golden cap. If Ascent maybe use that little bit of momentum that they have now, we could see them, roll a little bit harder. Probably not steamroll, but at least, go a little bit harder on it. We'll have to see.
Like, I'm trying to really sort of I don't want to just kind of cop out the teams like, oh, well, you're just kind of playing clowny, aren't you? But I want to give out something. I feel like Aura Elektro's things that have been impressing me the most have been defensive. But when that random factor or that sort of chance gets involved and things fluff up, a failed defense is just feels a lot worse than a failed offense. If you just fail your offense, you can usually just, in the game of TF2, give another shot at it or another crack at it, because you've got, like, obviously that last point to worry about, or all these other little factors, or they just not enough has died for you to kind of convert off of. Whilst Ascent's like offensive strategies have been way better than Aura Elektro's, I think. Way better. Like, it looks much better from the soldiers, or at least in the sort of brain department of like how they approach their movements and why they want to do the certain jumps that they're doing, and the timings of things as well.
They definitely seem a little bit better coordinated. We've also seen just better, focus from Ascent, in my opinion. Players on Aura seem to they seem to pick off targets better, as we've seen, with those. They consistently wiped way more frequently than Ascent ever did. I don't think Ascent ever wiped, actually. So
it feels really cool as well, because Jezunis and Amarok aren't even playing bad. They've been hitting some great shots, but it's just I see these movements out of Warped and Hugo, and they just feel a lot more like round deciding, as in like they'll get these huge sort of coordinated flanks going, or these big sort of space making plays. But maybe that's just my soldier brain literally like zeroing in on that. But I am seeing like a lot of nice positioning from like Sorix in particular. I feel like he's having a strong game, maybe not popping off so much and just literally pastoring over people, but still some highlight moments from him. It has been enjoyable TF2 to watch, but it has also been very frustrating TF2 to watch, and you know why.
There's always that one mistake in each push that just delayed it longer and longer. So yeah, headed into process if you're either team here, and you can make some adjustments. It's a slightly different map, it plays a little bit differently. What do you adjust for to try and get the upper hand now? Maybe command the game a little bit better.
I think Sorik's going to feel a lot more enabled in this map. I feel like Gully Wash is a lot more friendly for the soldiers, so no wonder they were having such a field day on those maps. But it's harder to make these sort of kind of peekaboo plays on a map like Process, so I suspect that Ascent are really going to be tested on this map.
Yeah, that's a sound reasoning. Let's see if that does come true as we're headed into our first mid-fight. The team's kicking it off on Process. This is, again, the only chance that Ascent still has to make the playoffs, so obviously they're going to be looking to take home as many points as possible, and immediately we finally see Hugo going high and deep onto Connor. Does he connect the rockets? He does indeed, but in the meantime, 3 players die on his team, and it's not looking very good for Van either. He gets finally cleaned up, so it's just Domo and Classy left. Strike that is just Classy left. and he's not going to accomplish much. I mean, the medic is already dead, so what are you going to throw yourself at as the scout, right?
Yeah, Ascent dedicating way too many resources to just focusing on Connor there. I mean, when you take out a medic on mid, past like the sort of initial part, what do you really achieve? All you kind of achieve is sending the team into a bull rush like attack mode, and you waste so much bullets and ammunition that you've got nothing to fight all the players with guns now. And usually you're in the fight, those heals aren't going to pay off, and you can't really solidify things like a hold. So past killing the medic, usually on mid, and focusing him will kind of result to a lost mid fight most of the time.
And that is indeed what has happened here as well. So the statistics do hold up, the numbers add up, the math checks out, and we have Ascent holding their choke as Aura try to pressure it, try to send people into sewers here, and actually, again, Ascent on the crit streak, so maybe making that work. Unfortunately not, as the Uber comes in from Connor to respond to it, where they clean up Domo, they cleaned up Warped as well, just before that, and Ascent are gonna have to back out to their last.
Yeah, but now things are even harder, because even if they have that crit streak a bit earlier, you feel a bit sheepish about pushing out from last, because they could backcap you, and they're actually pushing straight in. This has caught them off guard, and that surprise factor's given them a pick of Hugo.
It has indeed, and Classy dies as well, as does Warped actually. Amarok just hanging on by a thread, staying alive.
He's going to get healed up as well, so he's going to contribute still more to the fight, and he's got great positioning as well. He's going to get a lot of damage here with his soldier buddy.
Yep, that's Vanny dead. It's only Domo. Thomas gets taken down as well. Hugo gets blown up as he walks out of spawn, and that's a quick first round for Aura here. Basically entirely off the back of a botched crits play.
Yeah, that was also a little bit of just Amarok staying alive and winning the little skirmish in that top area against, I think it was Hugo. And usually he was already fighting off, so it was a fight he wasn't supposed to win, and it just goes to show that the ability to snowball off. And he played off very well, kept himself alive, and contributed more into that fight later on. And there we go, focusing Domo. I like this play. That's a much more solid pick than a medic pick.
Yeah, just seeing that immediately, just watching that Domo just getting bombed by soldier after soldier early on that mid. However, the players on Aura are also crumbling. Both Scouts and Amarok dead. Obviously Amarok after the sack, but both Scouts dying on your mid there as well is gonna leave you a little bit with your pants down, and that's gonna be enough for Ascent to actually win the mid despite losing Domo pretty early without him accomplishing much. So we're gonna have Warped far forward already, just trying to maybe catch somebody out. Hugo is gonna come in to take over for his butt as he has to back off, and ultimately not much is going to come of it. The fight does kick off though. We have both teams sitting on their Uber charges. Domo again going low multiple times here. Vanny also dangerous low, having to pop his Uber. You don't want to do that. Oh, that's unfortunate, because Connor's still feeling no threat whatsoever to even try to pop. Matter of fact, he doesn't have to at all. Warp is the only player still in.
You live by the Vanny, you die by the Vanny. That's one of those sort of a bit of a question mark sort of position plays that you probably wouldn't see out of your average Prem medic, but I guess maybe we don't know what's going on the side of Mumbles. We can only take a guess. If some people could be calling for pushing, some people could be calling to backing out, and Vanny could just be like, "Oh, I thought we were going in."
Yeah, obviously it's very hard to tell. You don't really know what the exact mindset there was, but he's almost up to his Uber again, you know. Aura have taken so long to get into mid here that ultimately it's not gonna do much for them. They might not even get to cap this point before Vanny gets his Uber and potentially takes his team in for an exchange. We'll have to see. That might be actually what he's trying to do here. Rolling forward through choke. Not popping yet, obviously finally popping off his Uber. The exchange is underway. Players that have been in the respawn queue are also going to join this fight shortly, and nobody has died just yet. Players on Ascent are looking pretty red on their health. So you might see something off that. And actually, Amarok is going to be the first player to fall in this post-Uber fight. It's still just a massive DM fest in this mid-fight. Aura finally deciding to back out with that player down. Decide they cannot win that fight, and Ascent are going to retake mid and actually continue rolling at least a few players through mid here. A bit of aggression. Hugo jumps in deep, does not accomplish much though, and ultimately gets caught out.
Again, I feel like that's just a bit... I know they're going for like a bit of surprise factor here, want to just kind of go for them, because not usually people would wait out for their scouts and then try and go for a push in there, but that's a bit harder. And it's a lot more readable, I guess, is a better way to say it. Very predictable. So they'd go in for the jump in early with the soldier and try and make something happen there. But they will go in with the scouts now, and I don't know what the scout player was going to accomplish there. It seems really hard and damning to ask for your scout to get a pick during that sort of scenario, but there we are.
And yep, that's going to be Connor responding with his Uber and catching out both Domo and Thomas, leaving Vanny to pop his Uber on, well, at least the first half of it, on absolutely nobody. So that is a pretty bad situation for Ascent to be in, and he's going to die. Yep, okay. That crumbled very quickly, that cookie. That cookie broke apart into many million pieces.
I'm frustrated. Okay, so they went with the scout plays, and those scout plays to work, they had to kind of commit Vanny in because he's the one charioting them out and keeping them healthy, but that put them on the back foot because he was in constant danger.
God. No, okay, Classy is not going to get Connor here. I was... Sorry. I almost saw him kill a man, and it would have all been verified. It would have all been completely fine.
Oh, they want to go in dry here, it looks like.
I mean, they have that ad, so...
They're thinking against it now. They've lost their flank players.
Well, yeah, we're going to see Aura back out with just 2 players down. You can't accomplish much in terms of contention here. Amarok is going to bomb and try a little bit of damage. Connor's actually going to pop his Uber, knowing that Vanny's still nowhere near close with his, but he's also so far away that Uber is not going to accomplish much. You're not going to find any meat of the blue variety. They're just going to have to, you know, take the ground they get. Hugo's actually just going to get onto Connor, though. Clean him up very nice. Amarok also dies trying to go for a counter sack, so now things are looking up for Ascent here. We're taking down Jezunis as well. Nevo is running in and just kills 2 people. Alright.
What the hell is going on in this game of Team Fortress 2? There was so much skirmishing. There's a fight happening on last. There's a couple of people skirmishing on second point. There's someone picking off Connor. Connor just pops. I don't know even. I'm desperately scratching my head, figuring out why did he pop there. Didn't feel like he was low or in danger, or he wanted to do anything with it. Nobody was there.
It's very strange. It is hard to glean what is really happening at every opportunity. We do have Nevo taking down Hugo, though. That is something I can tell you, and that's the only thing that has happened in this fight so far. Warped finally gets cleaned up as well, so no soldiers for the side of Ascent. And a lot of players on low health as well, so they're going to be backing off again. Aura holding onto their mid by just a bit of cap time, actually. Ascent almost did have that point capped out, and Nevo's going to clean up Classy, who was just trying to do some cheeky business as well.
Ascent, Dermo needs to reel in his boys because everyone's losing. Yeah, okay, they're definitely losing sight of what they want to try and do here. In the sort of scrappy game of TF2, you're not going to win a game with when you're playing against Sorex in scrappy TF2. You need to calm things down. When they were playing coordinated and doing these sort of clearly devised plays, they were winning in their previous map, but they're all losing sight of things and going a bit hero mode on all these players. They need to just take a deep breath, calm down, and think about what they've practiced in scrims.
And that's, yeah, that might be just the key. Again, this is yet another 10-minute round. The first one was so quick for Aura, and now again this round is just taking ages. Obviously, Ascent having a strong defense again. Nevo up in the forward spawn as a sniper as well, looking to maybe catch somebody out. The Uber does come out of IT though, and they don't accomplish much with it, considering Connor has his own to respond with. And team's kind of just reset. They just use that opportunity to scout out a little bit of positioning and then just reset.
I like that sort of Uber, kind of forcing Ubers onto your own terms. It can be dangerous though, as we've seen from the Gully Wash game where a couple of times they would Uber in and things would kind of go wrong. There's a sticky trap in computer room, I'm not sure if they've seen it. Oh, there we go, they've disarmed it now. That could have been dangerous.
It would have definitely been sad, probably, if somebody died to that, let's be honest.
So things have clearly calmed down now, which makes me feel better about Ascent.EU's chances, as I would say a lot of their impressive play was what their soldiers could pull off in these sorts of situations. So I'm very interested to see what Warped and Hugo can come up with. Usually they've been going a lot for, like, I'll make the sort of the false kind of jump play, and then you come in with the real sort of bomb play, and then their choice of targets have been impeccable. So it's all eyes on the soldiers.
Well, or it's all eyes on Aura as they start to get a little bit more aggressive, put their players forward. Obviously, Nevo's having that deep sniper angle as well. Still not something to be dismissed. Naturally, Ascent are aware, and they're not going to give him too much to look at. But if he just gets, you know, a good shot off, that could open it wide up. It could crack this barrel wide open for Aura here, and it's something that Ascent really have to be careful about. Amarok is just going to,
nice,
my lord, what a bomb by Amarok. All right. That can also happen. Yeah, I mean, that can also work out for them.
Yeah, this is why you don't usually like staying in sort of nooks and crannies as a medic, unless I know they had Nevo open sniper and you're feeling a bit sheepish about standing out in the open, but you kind of want to have a lot of foresight and on-look as a medic to kind of see what dangers can come at you. And because he wasn't in that sort of position, it was very easy for Amarok kind of to surprise him and force him out there.
Yeah, and now having that big Uber to work with, Aura actually still taking their time, but they can absolutely use that. Both soldiers dead for the side of Ascent as well, trying to get some sort of counter-sack play in. Nevo's still up on the sniper, just posing a threat, shutting down sightlines. Ascent are just gonna have to walk away. There is nothing they can do.
Jezunis is blocking the mid cap, that's all he needs to do here. He doesn't have to kill Classy here, he just has to keep this midpoint captain under control. He's going to try and clean him off now, but Health Pack is going to kind of even out those odds. But there's an Uber exchange on second.
It is indeed underway. Aura waited so long, they lost a full
Connor!
And now they've lost their medic as well. Well, would you look at that, Aura? Things are falling apart again, it's crumbling ever so slightly. Eames is gonna get cleaned up as well. Classy is still in behind, by the way. Throughout all that mid-back up shenanigans, he still hasn't died. He's on their last. He's on Aura's last, just walking about. I don't think anybody knows he's there. Okay, Nevo's gonna try looking for him. He almost won that fight as well. I would have lost my mind.
That's great though, because that's just a lot of insight to his team, and he can just count heads and say to them like, look, 5 people are chasing me, you know you don't have to deal with these or anybody sort of hiding or coming up with some sort of play, and it makes Ascent feel very comfortable taking these second and mid points.
Unbelievable. Crucial play there, really, just buying his team a lot of space. Classy putting on the mantle there. And it's going to be Vanny coming up on yet another Uber. They might even be able to use this ad if they want to. They immediately go deep on PC, just Thomas and Vanny. The chariot is underway. The soldiers come in as well. They catch out Jezunis, but that's all they're gonna find with this Uber. And now Connor has his own.
The counter-attack's coming in
though. That's gonna come in immediately, obviously. They're gonna just catch out anything they can find, shoot anything. But these assemblies are all over the place. They only really find Classy. Source gets cleaned up. And so do Amarok and Eames, so it's looking very solid for Ascent right now. Only having lost Classy throughout all of that, just Nevo and Jezunis strike that, just Nevo, and I guess Connor alive. However, Connor is not going to accomplish much, and Nevo nowhere near the point to even try to, you know, stop it. That's gonna be Ascent equalizing the scores.
That was some excellent sort of kind of turn of the head there. Usually when you're expecting you've kind of failed to push in the fact that you can't find the medic, you couldn't get the kill onto him, so they're going to counter Uber. Most people would back off into their own half of the map, but Ascent.EU, they backed off into the back line, like around the corners, more into the red base, and that really threw them off guard over on Elektro there and won them the round.
Now yeah, we're going to have our next mid-fight here, and 3 players on Ascent have already died. Only Sorex dying on the side of Aura here, and Jezunis is in behind, pressuring Vanny. Gonna force him to just run away. Potentially, actually, might even get him. This could be crucial for Aura here. Okay. Okay, Domo gets the paint train out and just takes care of that. Finally, that could have been extremely bad, like even worse than just losing the mid there.
Oh, Thomas!
Vanny died that late, and Thomas, in the meantime, does exactly that. He kills the medic very late.
Oh, they're going to throw in Amarok now to try and get on top of Vanny, but Vanny's too slippery.
So Ascent have managed to turn what looked to be a pretty disastrous mid around here. Actually,
they haven't even capped mid.
Yeah, actually win it ultimately. So Quite a long one, quite a prolonged mid-fight, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see Ascent take it and actually roll their team into the sewers. Potentially going to use this Uber as well. Obviously, they'd love to not have to. So let's see how they try to approach things here. Hugo and Warped again. The soldiers bombing in deep in that synchronicity that we've seen so many times.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice to watch. They're all just going backing off, giving off points here. They've got an Uber charge. You have to respect it.
Yeah, and they're going to use that into last. The sentry is probably, finally going to take him down. The stickies are cleared off the point. Cap time is being put down ever so slightly. And Aura players are here to try to respond to it, but they're dropping like flies left, right, and center. Nevo is still up on the heavy, getting distracted by Domo, gets arrowed up. And Warp trades with Eames yet again. So it is a scramble, but ultimately Ascent should win this. With players on Aura having to respawn. Not going to happen. So that's the second round for Ascent. It looks like we finally have a little bit of a snowball here rolling down the hill for Ascent.
Yeah, it's going really good. I credit all that to Tomas just kind of making all of that pain on that sort of medic chase worth it, because if they didn't get that medic pick, where could they really kind of salvage the round from or kind of take things from there?
We're gonna see, Tomas actually sniped to mid here, so that's an interesting way. He actually hits a nice little early headshot as well. Warp bombs into the combo, takes down Nevo and also the meds. So that's just a huge play there with Eames dead as well. These Aura players, I was gonna say we're gonna scramble for the med, but they do exactly that. So now just Classy flying into the sky. Good mid by Aura here.
Yeah, when the dust settles and you've killed the medic, and I just feel like a combat class is so much more devastating to lose on these mid fights than the medic. I mean, if he's literally fallen into your lap, sure, by all means, go for the medic, and then kind of change your game plan about how you want to then spend the rest of the mid. But it looks like they went too much all in for that medic play.
And they are also going to lose Jezunis on the side of Aura here, as Classy just makes his way forward through IT. And it's actually going to be a lot of pressure from Ascent. Sorix is going to get sniped out of the sky with a sticky there, and that's him down as well, as is Amarok. So Aura dropping players left, right, and center. Eames might just escape with his life here. He does indeed. But Ascent do retake the mid. And they will have another opportunity at converting yet another round. Who knows? I mean, they are up one. If they really want to slow the game down a little bit now to play at their own pace, obviously a sound choice to make.
Eames might get blindsided here by the scout. Oh my god, there's a lot of health, and there he goes. There he goes. He didn't see a push coming from water there. From sewer.
Sewer.
Yeah, sorry, there's water in sewer, but I'm sorry, I'm still stuck in the past. But yeah, he just didn't see the push coming and the single chariot scout. They will lose a couple of players in that rollout room, however, but they've got that second point. They've got an overcharge. They can hold this, right?
Yeah, probably. I'd be surprised to see Ascent just give this one up for completely free, and Aura are certainly not taking any risks either. They're taking their sweet time, trying to mount some form of push out, and obviously with every second that they wait, they're gonna have to back out, and it's just Eames putting up a little sticky trap, or he's gonna inevitably back out as well. And again, Ascent are now in the driver's seat.
Eames, why?
Eames.
He really wanted to look at that sticky trap for a while, but somebody just came through the door and bum rushed him, and they knew that he was waiting for that trap. He's got nothing really protecting him or setting up. And that's a huge pick for them now. They can make this push into last. I know they've lost a few players actually now, but they could have. I would have taken the push in, basically.
A scout for a demo is probably an okay trade to make. However, Ascent opting to be on the more careful side, not wanting to throw it all away, so they choose to, again, back out, take it carefully, and Nevo is up on the sniper as well. Very aggressive defensive sniper play, if that's even a phrase that you can say. However, yeah, he is far forward, trying to get some angles there for a while. Ultimately gonna back off, though. Again, we also have Classy up on the spy.
Yeah, he's running the invisibility watch as well, so there's going to be no sort of, like, waiting forever play. He's in there and he's decloaked. Let's just hope nobody looks at their far right-hand corner.
In the meantime, Nevo has shot Domo to death, so That's a pretty good pick for him to get there. Obviously, Jezunis is going to die trying to protect the sniper, and Classy is in. He does get the sniper. That's going to be all he's going to have to settle for, because Sorix has the ability to turn around and shoot him in the face.
Well, this is why you usually don't see spies running that invisibility watch. They need to find the perfect moment or the perfect position to actually get out and go for the pick onto the medic or some higher kind of value class. I mean, he did get a trade with the sniper, which is better than nothing, but it's just not enough, and it's just not worth it.
It's also still sticking to the spy, even though you'd imagine that Aura should be well aware of that now.
The sideshow playbook, they won't see it happening a second time.
Surely they wouldn't expect somebody to be...
He's ran out now, and now his watch has run out, and he's just decloaked out in the middle of nowhere, and he instantly gets found out and killed. So
that's when some spies realize that they do have a gun that they can use.
Cloak and dagger. Come on, Classy.
But that is probably the better choice here, and Classy's gonna not try that again. He's decided, you know what, after trying it, failing twice, and also Nevo getting a nice headshot there. However, not managing to kill anybody. That could have been a crucial pick if that was just the right target.
That's what we call hero shot, Surny. This is where you kind of really commit yourself as a sniper and put yourself out in the open, and you get one shot, one opportunity. I'm not going to quote the rest, but you know the words.
Oh, it's actually going to be Ascent just rolling forward here. Thomas and Domo picking up Jezunis and Eames respectively. So that's going to be some big picks as they put into last year. The
Connor's popped as well.
Gets popped out of Connor. So Vanny looking pretty good right now. He wants to take his team in with this Uber.
He's got the kill onto Nevo. He's been behind this entire time, and he's still alive. Oh.
It's just... Oh, it's looking real bad for Aura now. I mean, there are some respawns, but Ascent is just looking so much better in terms of health and everything. It's just Connor. He's gonna get cleaned up. That's a third round for Ascent.
That's a bittersweet round. That was a bit of a little bit of dropping the ball a bit more from the side of Aura Elektro than Ascent kind of picking things up there. But I mean, Classy did well to kind of not reveal himself to the rest of Aura Elektro and kind of spring from that corner.
And it's going to be enough for, you know, Ascent to really get a dominant lead now on this map with just 7 minutes, a little under 7 minutes left. Aura will have to look to try and equalize it if they want to stay in this match. Warp going to go in deep again immediately, not going to accomplish much though. Amarok is going to trade as well, and with Jezunis down too, no soldiers for the side of Aura. Nevo runs forward and kills Domo, but ultimately, that's all that Aura has to offer for this mid fight currently. Thomas is going to just prod forward a little bit. And Aura obviously going to respond with a little bit of prod in their choke as well, but they can't possibly do too much here with just so many Ascent players still about. They're going to have to back off eventually, and that's what they're doing. Although, the Uber, they do have Ubers, and yes, Connor does indeed want to have that exchange happen, so we're going to have players staring at each other real shiny.
I like what Vanny was trying to do there, just body block the medic and commit him into the fire, but he just didn't have enough Uber to kind of make that into a play. So yeah, things have stalemated out. Amarok's gone in, and he's gone on top of Domo. Sadly, Domo was none the wiser and doesn't die because of it.
Unfortunately, really, and then you lose your entire flank to that as well. So Aura again, 2 players down now. Ascent only missing a player. Make that 2 as Classy dies as well. Eames is gonna roll forward here into choke a little bit again, and Warp is gonna get pressured out of IT as well. So Aura, hang on again. They're not letting anything slip by. Amarok is gonna bomb in deep, but he's not gonna find anything really. He's just gonna get sent into the sky by the other soldiers. Almost kill Thomas. Gonna get cleaned up by Nevo. And now Aura, having this ground, not having a medic on the side of Ascent with, you know, Jezunis cleaning him up there. It's gonna be looking pretty good for Aura as they clean up all the straggling players. Nice shot onto Hugo there. It's just Domo left alive, running for his life.
Yeah, well played from Aura Elektro there. The fact that they got the Vanny pick, they knew all, without probably even saying a word in mumble, what they need to do, and that's protect Connor and just sort of play these open areas where they can just get as much vision onto the potential threats that will be tossing themselves at him.
And that worked out beautifully as Connor finds himself on that flat. Thomas trying to go for a little bit of a spy play there. That doesn't work out in his favor, though, so he's going to be out of it for this potential last hold. He's not going to get the hero play, and Eames Ubers in. Takes down the sentry immediately. Hugo trying to bomb in, maybe deny some players, but ultimately and have to back off as well. Nobody has died yet, though. Jezunis is actually going to be the first one to go down on the side of Aura here, and the Ascent players are hanging on. Warped finally gets cleaned up, but that's Eames and Amarok dying right there, so again, Aura just crumbling. The push falls apart yet again. And
yeah, it was a good Uber in. Well, I mean, it was an Uber in.
Yeah.
But they had no point pressure. Like, they just kited them. They just went to the other side of the map, and they didn't want to commit into that deep blue blob of Ascent, and they had nothing. They just didn't threaten them with anything, which is usually the point, but they just didn't go for it for whatever reason.
And, you know, there is an objective. If they choose not to play it, then you can see that that is exactly what happens. So Aura are going to be having to back out to their second, reset this a little bit, potentially contest some Ascent players, as Vanny has been on an Uber for a while. They're actually going to send an Amarok, maybe get Vanny to pop. No, Vanny does not pop on that. He expect that not to be direct, and then he's going to drop to Jezunis,
no.
so never mind that. I guess I jinxed it.
Oh my god, he's going to get out as well, and he's going to get all these kills. Is he actually... Oh,
no, okay.
He does get chased, but they've lost a lot of combat classes here, and they will force the hand of Connor, so now it's kind of a bit of pressure on Eames and Sorix to clean everybody up.
The big toe! Just kills Connor. Can he get any more kills? No, okay.
The toe was literally in his face that entire moment as well, just literally gunned down the neck of that medic. As soon as he was unubered, he was going to fire.
I would have loved to see him do a little bit more here, but he did already all that he had to do. Kill the medic after that Uber runs out. I don't know what is happening anymore. But all I know is that Ascent are looking in a commanding lead here, and I think it is almost mathematically impossible for Aura at this point to even, you know, to win or, like, you know, equalize it. It's possible, but it's very, very close. They're gonna have to put on some serious play, some serious momentum here as we're heading into the last 2 minutes of our map of process. So let's see if anything of that does happen. Amarok goes down early. Jezunis also low. Warp finally cleaned up behind, actually pinned to the wall by an arrow. And not much happening just yet. Jezunis gonna get chased down in PC, but Ascent players are actually falling back, not wanting to commit too much here, not wanting to risk too much, and they still have Hugo behind as well. And Thomas now again with his scout butt here actually rolling forward. They're gonna just clean up a ton of damage. Hugo coming in as well to help out, and it's a disaster. It's a disaster for Aura.
You can see the minds at work of Aura Elektro there. They realise that, okay guys, we need to kind of play together and not really die, but go for some picks, and we need to start snowballing things out. And when Ascent weren't really gifting that to them, they then realised, okay, well, if we're going to win this round, we need to cap off the point. So they all started collectively capping off the point, and Ascent were just reading that and then started coming in and putting all that sort of shared splash damage onto them. It's really hard because the clock is just squeezing them way too much over on Aura Elektro now, and now things really are mathematically impossible.
Yeah, now we're just going to be looking at Ascent potentially converting another round here with a very, very commanding push into last, and we would have a mini sentry NG out of Hugo as well. He's got an automatic aimbot that he can deploy at any willing time. It's not going to make a huge difference as they just cap out the round, but yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's 100% push win rate for that mini sentry. I'm pretty sure
fair.
The stats don't lie.
And that's going to be Ascent taking home process as well.
Even get a 20-second sort of victory lap.
Yeah, potentially. All right. Well, what a game. Ascent do stay in the playoffs race. It does boil down to how other teams play, obviously, as they are basically tied up with 2 other teams, but they keep themselves in the race.
Who are they tied up with?
Well, they were almost tied. They're like very close with both Nerd Rage and Feint. So it's basically a toss-up between those 3 teams. Who gets the 4th slot?
All right. I need to look at these tables. I pulled up the tables earlier, just before the game finished, just to kind of see, does this win? So they're going to get 5 points, ETF2L points, at the end of this. They're currently sitting on 14 points in the 6th position, so they're going to get pushed up with 19 points. So they'll now become 5th instead of Faint Gaming if they don't take any points. But the playoff spots are the top 4 positions, correct?
Yes.
Well, then the Frenchies have 20 points, and they haven't even played all their games yet. Nerd Rage are definitely in there. They've got 22 points. Azunas, the Church of Jezunis or Elektro that they've just played, they've still got those 22 points and they could potentially get more because they haven't played all their games as well. And obviously Swift are just way above everybody else. So
I'd be surprised if they lose anything, honestly.
I don't think they can. I don't think they have a playoff spot anymore. I think they needed that every single point.
I think it boils down to because they still have a game, right? Or am I? No, Faint still has.
No, this
a game,
is
right?
week 7, so this is their final game.
Right, yeah. Faint still has a game, though.
Well, yeah, Faint still have a game, but if they're playing against Swift, they're going to lose the game, okay? I'm sorry. Spoilers, chat. They're going to lose the game. But
unfortunate.
So they're going to be stuck on 18 points, but if it's the top 4 positions, they need to beat the French team, who are on 20, and they could have tied with 20, but they have 2 games left, and they're playing against... Well, they've played against Elektro. I don't know how that game's gone. They haven't uploaded the results, but they're playing against Virtus Bro on the other game right now. So if they didn't get any points from that, and they didn't get any points from the other Elektro game, yeah, they needed the full points.
They actually needed the full points because of that 1 point they left on the table. Ascent are actually not going to make it. Oh, that's a bummer.
So really, it must have felt so saddening to play the rest of this game out, knowing that they couldn't, tooth or nail, they couldn't get the playoff spot at all, even if all the stars had aligned for them.
Well, looks like there's not much reason to really talk about that anymore. Then we do have some logged up on screen. If there's something to glean from this, obviously you can tell Ascent a little bit more commanding in that game, a little bit more dominant overall, and it shows, especially with Thomas getting 300 DPM on Scout. Just a little thing.
I mean, they shouldn't be obviously sad with this or anything like that. It's naturally kind of hard. It's hard to read into these sorts of games because if you're a bit more relaxed on Elektro and you kind of like, all right, boys, we've done our jobs. The Frenchies will be proud of us, and kind of start armchairing it, Banny sort of stance back in those gamer chairs. Maybe you can kind of pencil it off like, oh well, we just weren't trying. But they were doing some good things on Ascent, and if they really care about their motto at the start of this season, which was pretty much they didn't care so much where they placed, they just want to improve as a team, I think they have done that, and it has shown, and they do look much stronger towards the end of the season compared to the beginning of the season.
So let's talk to some players here. Specifically, we have Hugo and Classy joining us out of the side of Ascent. How's it going, boys?
It's going good, yeah.
Terrible.
The duality of man right here. Well, how are you feeling about that game, or after that game?
I don't lose teams. That's all.
He's not wrong.
It was pretty fun. It was like a good set of games.
Especially that first map was very close though. Like, that first round was like what, 20 minutes, 25? Yeah, it was like 20 minutes ish. So, what was going on during that round? It was quite the drag. There were a bunch of botched pushes from both sides and all that stuff. So, what was like, how was that for you as a team?
I was dead a lot, so I could spec Hugo all the time, and he was beefing a lot of rockets that game.
I was hardly beefing. Yeah, it was really slow, and then we just got that one round where we just played point and they didn't drop down. And that was pretty lucky, I guess, but it got us to the golden cap and we won that, so.
Yeah, fair enough. Does mean though that you did leave that 1 point on the table. So, you're not gonna, unfortunately, I don't know whether you were planning or not. Obviously, you did say as long as you improve, you're happy. You're not gonna be in the playoffs race anymore, so.
Yeah, I
get
think
to go off early, I suppose.
It's like we like choked quite a lot of officials at the start of the season because I think we cared too much about where we were going to place. But tonight it was like there's like nothing to lose, I guess, other than taking points away from them. So we just played at our best, I think.
Fair enough. Do you have anything you want to ask, Turbo?
Well, I was
You're the
going to ask
brain.
how. I'm the brain, am I? I was going to ask like how much of this game was like just a game beating or Elektro versus obviously the or just gaining the playoff points. But obviously you guys have answered that. So you guys at the start of the season really wanted to focus as a team together, improving and like just overall like feeling like you've made a huge improvement throughout the season or how you end it. And do you feel like you've accomplished that now? Now you're at the end of that journey. Do you feel like overall you all have improved in huge ways or targeted ways that you were aiming for?
Yeah, for sure. Coming into the season, I learned a lot from Domo, I guess. Where if I was to look at myself at the start of the season, I would be like, wow, I'm making a lot of stupid mistakes.
What would you say out of all the officials you played, which were like the lowest points and the highest points?
I think start of the season, like the very first match, we got off to like we had 2 really close games versus Swift, and it was like a pretty big morale boost. Since I think it was like 3-4, 3-4 both maps or something, and they're like the best team this season, and then it kind of just went a bit downhill.
How about you, Classy? Do you think people underestimate how much pressure plays into the game of TF2?
I mean, I had no pressure at all because I was just a merc. So I know I can't really speak on it.
Of course.
Hugo was pooping himself.
Me.
He was trembling. All official. It was embarrassing, to be honest. But I mean, I was just listening to a podcast while I was playing, and just trying to relax.
Yeah, that's, where is the other boy wonder? Or where is he tonight?
I think he's on vacation.
Oh, right. Okay, well. I'm not sure if I've got any other sort of smart questions, believe it or not, Surny.
Yeah, neither do I.
Where's the other team? Usually they're, I guess, Aura Elektro, maybe a bit salty.
Well, you know
they're
Eames.
a bit heated.
You know how Eames is. He goes back into the cave.
He's thrown out a couple of slurs that game.
I want to know, who do you guys think are going to win Prem or the playoffs, and like how would you rank them?
Swift.
Yeah, Swift are definitely going to take it.
Swift number 1, and then everyone else is at the bottom.
Wait,
More specific.
Do I have to repeat that, beat, or can the world hear you?
They could hear me.
Oh, very good.
More specific, I don't know. I guess the second best team would be probably Nerd Rage. I know Swift's just kind of like rolling every team. I think the closest game they had was against Ascent at the start of the season. But Ascent basically has no chance of making playoffs now anyway. So I don't know. I think the playoffs are going to be kind of a roll for Swift, unless like Eames or Nerd Rage kind of, I guess, figure them out in a sense. But right now it's just looking like Swift is going to have a pretty clean win.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it's time to end the show, Surny. Time to go.
I do believe so. Are there any shout-outs your players want to give it to anybody? Let's start with Hugo, because he's at the top of the list.
I just want to shout out Ringo. That's it.
Right, cool. Anything you want to say as well, Classy?
Shoutouts to me for merking.
Hell yeah.
Well, that one didn't you, Hugo?
I suppose there's not much more to say from our side then, other than obviously thank you players for putting on a great show. Thank you everybody for tuning in tonight, and that's it for TFTV tonight.